Lupin says he's been looking forward to this moment. He wanted you to come here and see for yourself where it all started. He was so little when your mother and kin came here to put an end to his mother just because she was different, a hunter. That night, the hunter became the hunted, trapped with nowhere to run. He says your mother showed no mercy, only vengeance. He can see that you're not like your mother. There's something different about you. Maybe you would have made a better decision than she did, and let them be. They orphaned him, left him alone, an outcast and a freak. Lupin says he's been reliving the moment every night since then. He says your mother and her disciples started something that couldn't be undone. They created the monster he would become. He knew his time would come, and he was patient. So, when he got news about your birth, he knew how to get revenge that would last. That's why he spared you that night he raised the village when you were a child. He wanted you to suffer for life, like he had. He marked you for life, so he'd recognize you when you met again, and you'd eventually remember where you came from. His hunger grew insatiable over the years to come. He tried, but being vegetarian wasn't in his nature, and he couldn't go hungry. But he's never taken a life for the sake of appetite. It's always been about survival, and that our true self is being who we are. Just so. A deep look into nature will make you understand everything better, and that natural selection eliminates, and the strongest survive. Just so. Fate is for those too weak to determine their own destiny, and now the time has come for you to accept yours. Be gentle, this mount's a breather.
Yeah, you
Oh, Out of Date says that from what he's heard, you've been busy. He says he appreciates what you've done so far, but unfortunately he's got urgent news from his friend Noko in the east. Out of Date says that even though he's unsure about your intentions, he hopes you'll support Noko. He says he'll point you in the right direction, but finding Noko and making sure she gets what she needs is up to you. That doesn't sound good. Out of Date was spot on. The hoof puff needs to be stopped. Out of Date says that Noko is worried now that the Eastern World Eater is stepping up its activity. He explains that Noko keeps a fabled steed that she has planned to ride out to the World Eater, but needs help to get it prepared. Out of Date suggests that you should head east as fast as possible and see what you can do to help. He's happy to help. Didn't have much else to say, so no problem. There's not much left of what we used to call our world. Don't trust your eyes so much. They play tricks in the dark. A crossway. This means you have a choice to make. Which way? Ah, the Gnote pen. Noko never leaves this place. She's always put the living things first.
Andro?
Nooks isn't an easy language, but at least it's manageable. She says she is so happy to see you again.
Kala.
She wonders if you remember her. She's Noko. She let you ride her Majut when you were a kid.
Apli tonomuta.
Noko remembers you used to chase around with so much energy and is glad to see you haven't lost any of that spark.
Beri?
But that's all long gone now, though. Memories show us where we've been, not where we're going.
Asilmatu.
Seems reluctant to even say its name. It's become personal to her too since it's taken...
Inadabsunka?
Noko remembers those days too, but she never...
Inadabsunka?
She sees your...
Pialtuma.
She says the hop...
Brumblele marsamambu.
Noko says history is like the trail you've been on. You can walk back down it any time you like until it's worn smooth. But you get to blaze your own trail from here.
Brumblele marsamambu.
Then you are stronger than her. She can't help wanting Lupa Lupin to pay for what he did to her Gnotes, despite the fact it's against her nature.
The light shines on!
Better isn't the word I would use.
Right, not better. Best.
You're the worst.
The worst of being the worst. We're just the best.
Kototuku.
Asks how many paths you've wandered in the world, and if you ever wonder about what might have changed if you'd taken different ones.
Pola koto.
The choices can be overwhelming, but you have to choose, or you just stay where you are. And what kind of choice is that?
Kanyala no toro.
So happy the world is going to live, would have been crushed to see all the Gnotes die with it.
Kamonu.
Likes that you stood up for the world and spurred your way toward helping it out.
Inyada aldo.
Glad you saw the light with the myriad. They always bring a sparkliness to any day, and sometimes the nights too.
Anaro lute.
They're just so shiny, makes her smile to think about them.
Amu.
But let's not speak of that now.
Anora kapatom.
She has an idea where the Majut might have gone, as there's no other place it likes as much as its own corner of the open wild. She's even named it the Majut Meadow.
Turi kumbalamuma.
The Majut will recognize the scent you've attracted while being here, so it'll probably trust you enough to follow you.
Minalagi mamuru.
You should lead the Majut back here when you find it. It's going to take time to get it calm enough to be able to ride out to the World Eater.
Kanamunta.
She's sad that something as wild as the hoof puff can't be tamed, but has to come to terms with the fact that you need to stop it. This thing has a mind of its own. found the Majut meadow. Watch out for the Majut. Grit. The simplest thing. One at a time. Poke 'em. We are lonesome animals that spend all our life trying to be less lonesome. Glad to see some wood scrap there.
Andro?
Now that the Majut is back in the pen, it seems calm. But Noko is still concerned.
Kodotoku.
She says the Majut is still anxious, but fortunately she knows just the thing it needs to calm down.
Asil natu.
The Majut once found and ate a bonbon gummy by mistake, and that the chewing really calmed it down.
Inga valdo.
She says that you should find some bonbon gummies for the Majut by the crossway. At least, that's where she found some last time.
Ora sabut.
It's easy to describe. A crossway is where roads meet in a knot and merge. This one is in Sector 7J, if you're familiar with Out-of-Date's map. Let's get that mount moving while the getting is good. Wiggle the control box handles to buzz the wire. Wired up and ready to go. You're here for a reason. It's up to you to figure out what that is. Now that's loot. Perfect for slicing and dicing.